Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a really exciting video because I'm showing you guys all the books I read in 2025, which actually is not that many books. I only read 8. So if you're looking for a quick fire, here's what I read in 2025, then you've come to the right place. It was a good reading year-ish for me. It's the most books I've read in a few years because I've really been trying to get back into reading. When I was younger, I used to just get through books but obviously being at uni and stuff, it's a struggle sometimes to find the time. So yeah, I'm going to be telling you what books I read this year, and I think as well I'll tell you what I rated them on Goodreads and whether I would recommend them. So yeah, I'm really excited to do that. And also I've got my little candle burning here as well. It's my little Jack Frost candle. It's really cozy. I'm in a kind of new setup. I've got a video coming out next week, which is me doing a New Year's clean and reset video of my room, my uni room, which I've realised I haven't shown you guys yet. So this is a sneak preview. It's kind of dark outside, so I've got the big light on. So it's not the most coziest of filming locations. So most of these books I have in person here, but one of them I don't know where it is. I think it must be at home, and also another one I read on Kindle, so I don't have that one with me, so I'll just put in a little photo. But without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first book I read in 2025 was Funny Story by Emily Henry. I don't have the physical copy, that's the one I can't find, it's at home. And this book, I loved it. What a great way to kick off the year. It did take me ages to read, but that was more to do with being busy at uni than the book itself. Like, it didn't put me in a slump or anything. I just was so busy. Basically, the premise is, so these two people have both been cheated on, and the two people that cheated on them are getting married. So they sort of become friends mutually through that, and I loved it. Let me tell you, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was brilliant, and I did rate it 5 stars. I just really enjoyed the writing style. Like, the banter between the two characters was so well written. Like, I don't think I've read many books where the conversations between the two characters have been so realistic, because I think a lot of the time, sometimes in romances, it can feel a little bit, why did I do that? In romances, it can feel a little bit cringy, like cheesy, but this felt so real, like so realistic, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, 5 stars. The next book I read in 2025 was Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Jake's actually reading it at the moment, so it's got a bookmark in, but I love this book. I didn't realise, but it's actually 4 short stories following this cafe. And basically the idea of it is that you can go to this cafe and you can sit in a certain seat, and you can travel back in time or forward in time to meet somebody. You have to finish your coffee or your drink before it gets cold. Otherwise, there are different rules. I'm not going to spoil it, but there are different rules that come with traveling in time. And I loved it. I love the characters. I think at the beginning, it takes a while to understand what's going on, and then you think, okay, yeah, and then you realise that everything's kind of connected, and I loved it. I love the whole idea of it. It's quite a short book as well, so it's a quick, easy read. I think I rated it 4 stars. The next book I read was actually a play, and it was Folk by Tom Wells, because we were doing monologues at drama school and I needed a monologue, so I found one from this play and I read the play. Yeah, it was good. I rated it 3 stars. It was a play. I don't really enjoy reading plays. I mainly read them to get the context for if I'm doing a monologue. And obviously I like watching plays. But it was good, and it's a good monologue. If anybody's interested, it's Kaylee's monologue on page 53. So yeah, but it was a great play. Love to see it if it comes back. Okay, so the next book I read was Mockingjay. We finally got through the trilogy of the Hunger Games. Obviously, I've seen the films, but I was trying to get through the books as well because I know there's more information in there, and I wanted to read Sunrise on the Reaping. So I wanted to make sure I understood all the lore from the books and the films before I read Sunrise. It's incredible. I love all her books. You know, Suzanne Collins could write anything and I'd love it. So the next book was actually on my Kindle, because it was when I went on holiday and I was flying on a plane, so I read my Kindle, and I read Shameless King by Maya Hughes, and it's the first book in the Kings of Rittenhouse series. Now, let me tell you something. I did not like this book. Nothing against the author, it just personally wasn't for me. I had really high hopes for this series because I've seen people recommend it before, so I thought, do you know what, I'll give it a go, and basically I don't even really remember that much because it was not that great and I've tried to erase it from my mind. But I think it's this guy on a hockey team, like ice hockey team, and he's at uni, and then him and this girl kind of have a thing at prom, and then they go separate ways. I didn't really understand it. It didn't really make sense to me. She ends up at the same uni, and then they're kind of like studying together and stuff. But I really didn't like it. It just felt like things were going wrong for the sake of going wrong, and everything that happened to the character was just being like added on, and there was no real character development in it. That's not even what I read a book for. I just didn't really like the story. I only gave it 1 star. I feel bad. I think I had too high hopes for it. I think I thought I would really enjoy it, and then I was just a little bit let down. That is Emily on the megaphone calling our housemates to roast dinner. Okay, so the next book I read in 2025 was Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I read this after the Shameless King one when I was on holiday. Yeah, again, this was another one where I thought that the banter between the two characters was really well written, and I really like the whole idea of the story, that it's based on a ranch. I really like that. And the kind of crossover between city girl and country boy. Yeah, the smut in this went kind of crazy. My friend Becca read this, and when I was reading it, I sent her a photo like, what the actual fuck have I just read? The next book I read was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I really was trying to get through all the Hunger Games books this year, and this book was thick, which I'm not complaining about because I love the books. Oh, I put the dust cover on upside down. So much more lore in these books than they give us in the films. Special mention to the film because Rachel Zegler is such an icon and my queen, and I love her so much. Some parts of the games were kind of different in the film than in the book. It was also really interesting because it's narrated by Snow. So obviously, well, it's in third person, but it's kind of all from Snow's perspective. And it's interesting because you're seeing his thoughts before he's a big dictator. You know, you're seeing his thoughts in his brain and how things work, and you kind of see that transition from troubled boy at the start trying to like get money for his family into his kind of spiral into evil. So my final book of 2025 was Sunrise on the Reaping. This book, oh my god. If you've read this book, are you okay? Because I'm not okay, and I'm not ready for the film because that is gonna be difficult. That is gonna be so difficult. This book was incredible. The way so many things tied together. There's so many little Easter eggs in this and things from other books, and it's all linked and all connected, and it's crazy. It actually blew my mind because I felt like every page I turned, there was a link to something else, something from the previous films or books or, you know, things like that. And I was like agog the whole time. And I read it quite quickly, to be honest with you. I read it in a few days. Also, can we just appreciate how gorgeous this book is? I also got the special edition one. Wait, and look how gorgeous she is. It says, "Our tears will not be used for their entertainment." And it's the most gorgeous book ever. And I saw that they were selling it in Waterstones and I had to pre-order it and get it. Suzanne Collins really said Snow is evil, and I'm going to show you guys that Snow is evil. I cried. The ending, I was just not expecting the ending. When I thought it couldn't actually get any worse, it proceeded to get worse. If you haven't read this book, read this book. Please read this book. I mean, you will cry. They call it Sunrise on the Weeping for a reason. I'm not gonna show you any of the books I've read so far in 2026. There's one book. I'm not gonna show that yet. Well, nearly two actually. I'm not gonna show those because I kind of want to save them for my end of year video. I don't read that many books, which I'm trying to change, but I don't read enough books to do like kind of monthly wrap-ups because I kind of want to save it all for one big video at the end of the year. Make sure to subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been really fun to make and kind of reflect on the books that I read this year. I actually forgot some of them, so it's quite nice to revisit that. Like Funny Story, I love that book. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!